This is me practicing what I preach, because every night I try to put this on if I remember, especially when they're biting me, especially when the sun in winter time in Texas. I don't know how much I'm being focus grouped here at this point. I'll talk about that in a second. But most people aren't in the United States that watch YouTube too, and they sometimes have the sun all the time. But here in Texas in the wintertime, we're on a latitude that gets this really weird sun, and it's super, super bright, and it evades most normal UV protection. So you should always wear sunscreen in the wintertime in Texas all the time. And you should you should put, UV protection on your windows, which I used to have here, but, it wears off over time. So I'll probably have to buy some and stick it up there. But anyway, most of the time, people try to wear sunscreen year round here, if they can, of some sort. Even just 8 SPF is good. So I wear this at night when I go to sleep, so when I wake up in the morning, if the sun's shining through the window, I'm protected. And if M or Kay, her daughter, is trying to shine lights in my window, I'm protected from that too, which has happened less since C is gone. It's sad because those women, but they mostly follow orders. And at the time, when I was working here, I really didn't think that they were following his orders. So, and I felt bad for whoever was telling them. I mean, I felt bad for them for having to do what they were told all the time. And I really feel bad for y'all too, because evidently some of y'all are getting threats from people now too, which is sad. Y'all shouldn't listen. Somebody's got to stand up. Tell your cousins or your aunts or your uncles or somebody to try to stand up for me. Because I'm a law-abiding citizen here, and I've never been accused of hurting anything or anyone on purpose, and I have never hurt anyone or anything on purpose. So I just live here, y'all. There's a woman here, C, and she wanted my apartment. She's the one actually that was helping with. Well, she wasn't helping. I mean, I wasn't asking her to, but her family was the large amount of stars in the window, which was sweet. But anyway, that's been a while now, since way before Christmas, and it seems that she's not in favor of me right now. But before that, in September, she wanted my apartment so they could have some kind of thing. I don't know what it was. I can't really say all of their plans because I'm not them, but someone at some point wanted to make a 2-bedroom apartment and have this room be the second bedroom. So, like I said in another video, they would put that door into just a deadbolt with no knob, and an inner door here on the wall and all the stuff. And that's why they tore out the outlets over there and all. That's why they said they made the cooktop not work and all that stuff. It's so nutty. But anyway, that's been over 2 years now that they had that rumor going, and so I should have all my appliances working soon, hopefully. But they still haven't changed the key, which is really upsetting because last night, there was somebody in here, y'all. And I was just like, you need to get the fuck out of my apartment. No offense. I'll blur it. But I was like, you need to get the F out of my apartment. You need to get the F out of my apartment. Because I don't know what's wrong with them. Men should listen when women say no. And women should listen when women say no. But there's a lot of the time where you shouldn't have to say no. You can't consent to an illegal act. There's no legal consent to an illegal act. Either the consent renders it not illegal, or it renders it something else. So it's very frustrating to have to explain to people things that they should already know because they're realtors. But I also wanted to show you that there's an example of karma. Like I said to you, the karma of people that mess with me is worse than any karma I've ever seen anyone have in my whole life. And I don't even have to do anything, y'all. And that might be true for anybody, so don't mess with people on purpose. I certainly don't. But this guy, my stalker, my stalker knows now that his whole life, his dad has pushed him and clothed him and bedded him and housed him in a mock-up of my daughter's rooms ever since he was born. He had their cribs, he had their bed, he had their bedding, he had their decorations, he had their toys, he had some of their books. He was forced to take some of their electives. He was encouraged to study their things that they like to do. He, was encouraged to, just so many things, y'all, to wear their hair similar, to do their things similar. It's awful, y'all. And what's especially upsetting to me, because I have two very successful daughters, and he was trying to be the younger one, but now he seems to be more trying to be the older one, which is sad for me because I think of them both the same. They're both equal in my eyes. I have one daughter that's more academically successful. Maybe he can't achieve that himself. I'm not sure. That would be the younger one. The older one is less academically successful. The older one on the dean's list, like all 4 years of college, except for her first semester. But the elder one is less academically successful, but she's president of her sorority and she did all these other things, and she's a very successful person. And now he's dyed his hair blonde and he's wearing boots and doing all these things. But that doesn't mean that he's necessarily emptying them only. But just think about that. Like, you just found out that all of the things that he loves are actually his dad trying to pretend to be married to me and be raising my daughters. Because God gave me 2 girls that I raised as girls their whole lives, which doesn't have any value judgment to it whatsoever. That's just how it worked out for me so far, anyway. And he had a girl and a boy that he promptly, first he tried to make his little daughter have my stuff when I was little, my bedroom from pictures and stuff like that. And then he tried to make her have my daughter's stuff by stealing it, buying at garage sales, asking me if I was still using it and if he could have stuff and things like that. But it just never occurred to me that he was literally trying to make them be me, my kids, to the point that he broke in and tried to mess up my teeth, which are yellow now because of this. Isn't that funny? And because I had macaroni and cheese earlier, y'all. But I have toothpaste that fixes all. I'll show it to you later. But it's so weird. I try not to eat any orange cheese. I have a thing. Like, I try to eat food, and I try to eat food that's like unprocessed as much as possible. I like to think that's why the zinc oxide and the Vaseline and the Noxema and stuff is why I don't show a lot of aging today, although I might tomorrow. But anyway, it's funny. No, so I try not to eat any orange cheese at all. I love Texas Longhorn cheddar. Oh my God, so much. But I try not to eat it. I try to eat white provolone, mozzarella, that cotija cheese, and Parmesan, mostly, if I eat cheese. And since I was vegetarian for so long, Norbert likes cheese too, and he eats string cheese mostly. But I'll, cut up and stuff. But it's funny. Although he never had to be a vegetarian, he always had plenty of meat. But he likes what I eat too, and so he had cheese. Cheese is his snack, his treat, as well as those little fish treats that they sell for cats. But I don't know. So that's one of my rules, in case you're interested. I just eat white cheese. And I put zinc oxide on my face every night when I go to bed, so that when I wake up and my room is 1,000 or 6,000 lumens, I don't have any ill effects of it on my face. But you will see it probably showing up on my hands and my arms, my legs eventually here. Excuse me. Because every 20 years your sun damage shows up. So I didn't have any. I had a lot. That's funny. I had a lot when I was littler, and it showed up when I was 25 to 35, because of all the baby oil tans and the no sunscreen and stuff. So occasionally when I was younger, I would be risky because, it would wash off and I wouldn't put it back on or whatever. But then I started being really careful. So for the next 10 years, there wasn't a lot of additional damage. And the damage that I had got better because I was using retinol and trying to take care of my skin. So the next stage, though, was a stage where I spent so much time outside. And that has not entirely shown up yet, which is nice. And my mom is 1/4 black, too. That might help. But so far. But I did sunburn, all the time. And freckle. I always get like summer freckles, winter freckles. I get all kinds of different freckles. And I have one little sunspot right here from age, I guess. But other than that, it's fine. So funny. Here's the Snorby. Norbert. Oh, this is Norbert. Yes, he's a good boy. There's still malware when I turn my face. It looks so funny. But anyway, the front face is mine. You'll get to snuggle. But anyway, there was a guy in here yesterday, y'all. And he scared me so bad that I pushed Norbert off the bed. And I had my stuff because I had banking stuff on my bed. And I was like, get the fuck out of my apartment. Get the F out of my apartment. And I forget what I was going to say. Oh, but I went to help. I went to stop him. Like, I went to get him out. And that's when my door was unlocked. And they used to do that in my house, y'all. They used to hide. And I'm not kidding you. This is not paranoia. They used to hide in my house and try to be there for, like, different things. It was gross, y'all. One time I was watching a movie, like just a regular movie, not porn or anything. And I was laying on my bed. I went to sleep. And when I opened my eyes, the dad of this woman was standing over my bed looking at me. Over the couch looking at me. And that's where my daughter sleeps. Because my daughter, she didn't like to sleep in her room so much all the time because the guys would make noise at her window because she had the front window. And so, to bug her. So she would sleep on the couch, which was really comfortable. I had a couch and a love seat back then. I still do, actually. And they were, super, super comfy. Yes, he's a good boy. It's like Norbert. Norbert gets nervous and he won't sleep on the top bunk when those guys come in here because they like to get up there and, like, the homeless people that used to come through or whatever would try to, like, rest and stuff when I would be gone at work and things. But then I didn't have Norbert then. But, cats can smell things. So he doesn't like to be around things unless if someone's been in the room, it's strange. So it's sad. He does not like Daisycakes. What he did. So, anyway. I don't know what to think about things. But I just thought that was such karma. See, it's an example of the karma. An example of the karma that people get is finding out that because you're harassing someone that someone's mad at, right? Your whole family has been told to hate this person, so you're hating me and hating me and hating me. And in the process of that, you realize that the reason that your dad gave you little girl decorations and little girl clothes and little girl toys and little girl stuff was because he was obsessed with me the whole time. And not because that was what you were manifesting for yourself. And if there's worse karma than that, I can't even imagine what that would be. Because my dad had a daughter. I wouldn't call her illegitimate really. But, she was. The first one was, for sure. So my dad had a daughter that was illegitimate. And she was just beautiful, y'all. She was blonde hair, blue eyes, so sweet and so pretty. And very successful. But I never felt threatened by her because, it's not a comparison. I could have been one of 10 kids or so, and there wouldn't have been, any value judgment there either. Like, life is not about value judgment. So it's really upsetting. But because people are so dysfunctional and messed up, they try to put that on you and tell you that you should feel less than because your parents had another child, which just shows you how they feel about themselves because that's stupid. But anyway, it's really funny. But to find out, see, my dad didn't do anything to change me. He thought I was beautiful. He thought she was beautiful. He thought I was accomplished. He thought she was accomplished. It's like we were all the same. And for some reason, healthy upbringing, the fact that I'm healthy today and that I'm not totally dysfunctional or crazy messes these people up. And they keep trying to put overlays on me that say like dysfunctional or crazy. But I'm not, y'all. I've never been, and see my hands shaking, but I would never have been. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of people because when I graduated high school, when I graduated high school, my ex-husband went into the army, which was lovely, y'all. And his dad was in the military too. But his family was largely anti-war, which is why I figured, I mean, we're all anti-war, it's like abortion, but his family was largely against the military, kind of, in a way, even though his dad has served in Vietnam. Or Korea, I can't remember which, I think Vietnam. So, but he went in the military. But my brothers and sisters never did. And so they used to always try to lie. And my ex-husband got out of the military. But he retained that need to have no bad record on his record, right? So my whole family just kept trying to say that I was, I'm so glad I don't look anything like the guy that attacked me. That the whole family, my own brothers and sisters, my ex, all tried to make me have their medical problems so they could get free medicine from the government because there was a member of the family helping them to do that, and I won't say which one that was. That wasn't me. Norbert, you have to stop right now. Norbert is being nippy, which is fine, but he thinks I'm in his chair, basically. Here, let me give him the pillow. Maybe that'll help him. Here. There. He just likes anything that smells like me. So he would try to finagle meds and stuff from us for his problems, which included some difficult things that my mom largely took responsibility of providing, I guess. But I didn't really want to do that myself. And other people also, which is sad. But I didn't really want to do that for him because he didn't want me to know that those problems existed for him. It's so funny. He wanted me to literally think that they were my problems. But I'm a drunk and an Al-Anon, and he has his problems, which are not my problems. It's a long story. And now the karma of all that is unfolding for him, I guess, which is sad. But it's okay because blackmail is never okay, y'all. And paying blackmail is never a good thing to do because it always comes out in the end. Which is a good thing, I think. It should. But anyway. Oh, so my stalker now is very unstable. And he's trying to... So he's putting himself all beaten up, like marked up, like scratched. And I don't know if you remember the beginning video showed the skin dress layer woman, who's not related to him, I don't think. She's related to M also, and C, probably, as a father figure. And she used to hurt animals and scratch herself up and like beat herself up and stuff, or ask other people to do that. Once it was a gang initiation, but after that she was just being weird, so unstable. Which is a sad way to refer to someone who has obvious mental problems. But remember, these people are trying to put them on me, first of all, and second of all, also attack me. So I can't be nice to them, but y'all can if you want to. So then the other stalker, the other female that was this boy that was raised to have a room like mine and act like my daughters and have their toys and their clothes and everything, which is just so crazy, y'all. But he also has popped up in the videos recently, like last week. I don't know what is going on. Someone's trying to throw something on me. It's like the cat is attacking my hair. But anyway, he also has shown up in the videos trying to like be hurt, beating himself up, it looks like. Trying to get a case going. Because you see, there's this focus group of police officers, which I don't know if y'all have heard of yet, but you might have heard of them. Some of them are ILPs, interesting looking people. most of them don't come from Nacogdoches. They come from they come from central Texas, basically. And they, I don't know why they're after me. I've always been a law-abiding citizen, and there's no real reason to stalk me or anything. But they're literally involved they're related to this guy, actually. And remember, he supposedly thinks, I think it's delusional, but he thinks he's getting married to this guy. Christian, when he used to live here, he used to like to move people from his family in. And the path would always be the same. They would move in. They move in next to me, or near me. They would start dating someone who also lived in the apartments. And they would date for a while. Then they would move into a big apartment together, usually the same apartment. I don't know why it's always the same apartment. But they would move into an apartment together. And then they would get married and move away. But they were usually married already, most of the time. And so it's kind of like a charade. And so this might also be a charade. But this guy has lived here for a long time, the one that lived below me, and I don't really know him very well, but he comes around when my mother-in-law comes around. I thought for a while he might be her security almost. But he's probably just curious because she has money. But anyway, so he's with this guy now. And one of the workstation guys also is hanging around, and he might be the one that she's actually involved with. I'm not sure. It's a nightmare. But anyway, they live this way now, that way down the hall. And he's the one that that's the female that I have trouble with the genders of. It's not intentional. It's just because it's my stalker. I have a hard time. My brain is like flipped to don't be nice to them, which is not my normal brain switch. And so I have to like make sure that I'm doing it right. But she wants to use my stuff to look all this up. I don't know if it's because she's afraid. She's in my Wi-Fi, my router, my modem, and she tries to clone my device and get on it. And that's the truth. I have lots of proof of it through Bluetooth and through the modem, which I found a Bluetooth blocker that's been helping. I know it sounds so crazy, but it's actually true, or else I wouldn't say it because I could actually prove it. But she uses my device to look all this up. She looks at engagement rings. She looks at wedding rings. She looks at wedding dresses. She looks at couples and famous couples and Daya and so many people. I don't even know how many people. But Vanessa Hudgens, I guess. Lots of people. It's sad, y'all. It's like she thinks we're sharing this experience. It's like he told her that I was like a pseudo mother figure. Even though I've never been nice to her, and I try really hard to repudiate her every chance I get just for my own protection. Because, they already chipped my teeth, and even though that wasn't too bad, I can still, deal with the rest of it. And tomorrow when I wake up, they'll be white again, so. But that just shows y'all don't eat orange cheese. If you, just kidding. I don't want to get orange cheese mad at me. But if you, did you see the malware? But if you go and, if you try making your macaroni and cheese with white cheese, your clothes and your countertops and your teeth might thank you. Anyway, I don't know what else to say, except for that's an example of the karma that happens. That's what I was talking about, is that now this guy, through intending to kind of harass me out of my apartment so C could live here, he ended up finding out that basically his whole childhood was a lie. And I can't make that happen for them. It's a nightmare, y'all. And they may decide to take all that out on me, even though it's not my fault. I only had 2 garage sales, and it's true the guy did buy up all the kid things, but I didn't think he was going to keep them, like I said. It's crazy. And people in the town would always say, there's a guy that's just obsessed with you, and I'd be like, yeah, come on. And also, they would be like, oh my gosh, this guy has a duplicate apartment to yours, and there was even like a duplicate classroom. It's really weird, y'all. I haven't even gotten into all the school stuff, the Saturday school, all the nightmare stuff. But oh my gosh. But there's so many kind of like mimetic people out there that they think, and then they tell themselves that I'm imitating them, but I'm an original. I don't see them on YouTube in whiteface and part-face, unfortunately. No, that was the stalker trying to make me look like that. Because they're convinced that if I just stop this whole... And I wonder now, that's the thing. They were trying to be me so much now. I wonder if they want to be 1/4 black, or if that's why they're so mad. It's so funny. Because I've always been 1/4 black, so. But that doesn't seem to be pleasing them as much. Which is sad, because they're racist. But they're racist anyway. And they're fundamentalists, and they're sad. And not all people like that are bad. Most are wonderful people, very strict. And, being strict and disciplined is not a bad thing. Being believers is not a bad thing. But this is a bad thing. It's so crazy, y'all. But you see how it kind of soaked into my skin while we've been talking? It's really funny. So you should try it sometimes. This is just Desitin. And I just put it on my face. And there's no breakouts or anything. It is non-comedogenic. So if you have oily skin, you should only use it on your dry spots. And you should make sure and use a different kind of sunscreen made for your skin when you go out in the world. But you can put it on your elbows and your knees and stuff if you want to get the zinc part of it. Or you can take zinc on the inside of your body. It kind of almost works the same. But this is good for me because it focuses right on the skin. And the skin is where all the healing happens, and zinc helps heal. Although remember, your skin, if you made mistakes and you popped your pimples or whatever, just remember that zinc will heal, that your skin heals over time no matter what. Your skin replaces itself. It's a living organ. So you don't have to beat yourself up if you made skin mistakes at the past. Because depending on how far down the scars go, you may be able to handle it with chemical peels when you're older or do other things, and you might not have any ill effects whatsoever. As long as you don't continue doing stuff like that, it should be fine. At least if you follow my way of thinking, which is that you don't need to pop your pimples. That pimples are just a body's way of processing impurities. And if you don't do anything about them, then they will reduce and either pop by themselves or gently, or all the swelling goes down by itself through the bloodstream. And that carries away some of the impurities with it. And then the rest of them form a whitehead. And if you don't touch the whitehead, it will eventually pop on its own, just a little bit, enough to leak out whatever's in there. And then if you put bacitracin on it, it'll just heal itself. And that's what I've always done. Well, that's what what I've always done another way. But anyway, the point is that this is what I do every night, first of all. Second of all, that guy, I feel for that woman, I guess. And now one of them has dyed their hair white blonde. And you don't even know if it's the same person the way these people are. They switch out cars and stuff to make it seem like they're still the same person when they're not, and vice versa. But the weird thing is they're driving the same cars that they've always been driving. They're just driving newer versions of them, which is crazy. I mean, not crazy if you like the car, I guess. But anyway, as I look at my eyeballs, I have I have some zinc oxide on one of my eyeballs, but my eyes are pretty clear. And I thought I would just show you, because remember, I'm just a person. I'm a free citizen. I don't do anything wrong at all. I've been through all of the nets. I have a little short that tells you all of the nets I've been through. Go and find it at my shorts list. And you will see a long list of nets that I've been caught in at various times to try to either point out that I don't do those things, hopefully all the bad things, of course, and that I do all the good things. And also that I'm straight. And there's just no other nets left. There really aren't. It's crazy. But if you go look, you'll see. It's really funny. And these guys just follow me around like I owe them money, but I don't owe anybody money. It's really funny. I've never given him the time of day. And I would never give him the time of day. And I won't ever give him the time of day. And why does that always make people stick to you like glue? I don't know. But anyway, I hope y'all are doing well, and I will talk to you later. Love you.